Hey guys, this is Dr. McFarland, and in this video we're going to look at some different amp options that you can use to put directly onto your pedal board. So what you see right now is the Zoom Q8, and it honestly looks pretty bad. For some reason my Canon M50 camera, which I have right here, and which is what I usually use. The Melon app, for some reason, just does not show this camera as an option when I'm streaming. Now, if I want to use Streamlabs OBS, which is what I usually use to stream here on YouTube and Facebook, and I'm also able to have like multiple camera angles, and I can, do all kinds of cool stuff. But I like the Melon app so far because it's pretty easy to use, and I can highlight comments on the screen as like what you can see now. Hey guys, let's hang out, right? So if I type that in, that's going to be added as a comment, and then I can highlight that comment on the screen. So it's just a really easy way to engage with the audience, and we can get some more interaction going here and just have some fun. So, but because Melon can only do one camera at a time, I'm going to have to switch back and forth. So thankfully you won't have to see this mug the whole time, but I will switch back and forth when I'm just kind of talking, and then when I'm demonstrating what's on the board, we can talk about that as well. So the first thing we're going to look at as far as amplifiers on your pedal board is obviously any kind of HX Stomp, maybe Strymon Iridium type option. There's also the NuX Studio, what's it called? NuX Studio something, especially a preamp and a power amp with the IR loader all in one. It's like a very small pedal. So all those are great options for actual amplifiers on your pedal board. And the one thing I do have with me is the HX Stomp. So let's just take a look at that real fast. I'm going to switch my camera here. Maybe. There we go. So there's the view of my pedal board, and you can see I have a HX Stomp right here on the top left hand corner. And most boards that I've seen either on Instagram or just searching on Google, like for different images of pedal board options, a lot of people have the HX Stomp on their board because it can be an amp and a cab or an IR loader, but it also has multiple effect options as well. Okay. So what I have on the, as far as amps go, I really like the Archetype Clean, which is a PRS Archetype amp. I'm probably going to do a whole separate video just on this amp alone, because the clean and the lead options are just, my gosh, they're just really, really good. I'm going to turn down the preamp on the cables here. I'm actually just going to unplug these cables from the back, because I'm not going to really be playing a whole lot tonight. I'm just going to be talking about some different options here. So what's cool is you can go between the lead and the clean. And if I had two separate blocks that had the two amps, I can assign them to one switch and then just A/B back and forth between my clean amp and my dirty amp. My clean rhythm sounds and my dirty lead crunch, whatever type stuff. So the HX Stomp is a great option if you're looking for a digital way to get some amp options on your board. And this also has, let me click on this here. That's not what I wanted. If I use the page right button, I can go over a few pages, and it gets to the cab option here. So this has a 4x12 Cali V30 with a 160 ribbon mic. That's the Bayer Dynamic M160. But there's a lot of different mics on there you can choose from. You can choose the distance of the mic, a low cut and a high cut. You can choose the reflection and the level time and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So let me adjust my headphones a little bit here. I need to bring my microphone up. Now the stream I did the other night, the audio was just a little different from what I was monitoring versus what you were hearing. Because I'm using a Focusrite 18i8 that I did get over from Sweetwater. So I'll be doing a sponsored video on that very soon. But I just wanted to use this interface for a lot of streaming and a lot of just audio production, just to get the full gamut of what it can do and what it sounds like. And so far, I really like it a lot. It's a good overall interface. So I'm just going to be adjusting some levels here, making sure I'm roughly in the same ballpark as far as playback and the loopback 1 and 2 option here. So, all right, so that's the HX Stomp. And now it comes time to where I'm going to show you some other options. I'm actually going to be deconstructing this board a little bit. Because it has come time to where I need to free up some cash to buy some acoustic panels for the new studio. And I'm going to have to get some money from somewhere. So I'm going to be selling off some of these pedals. But in the same live stream here, I'm going to be showing you some other options as far as amp on the board and applying some effects to those amp options. Okay. So real fast, let's see what we have currently here. I'm using the Boss MS3, using a MIDI signal to talk to the HX Stomp, which before I'm going to be selling this, I will be doing a few more videos on how to assign either PC or CC commands to talk to the HX Stomp. So you can turn on and off different blocks and also switch between different different presets and snapshots. Okay. So let me do this. I'm going to start unplugging some stuff here. So don't be too freaked out, but just be like, oh, what is he doing? I need to make some room on this board for some other options I'm going to show you. Okay. So I got 3 people watching right now. A 4th one just came on. I want to know your name, where you're from, and what your favorite amplifier is. Whether that is a pedalboard amp or just an amp in general. Maybe you like the old, Fender Blues Deluxes, or the Hot Rod series, or maybe you just like a classic Fender Twin, Fender Deluxe Reverb. Maybe you like the Marshall stuff. Maybe you have a matchless orange Vox. Just let me know in the chat what your favorite amp is, because once you know that and you kind of know the ballpark of tones you just naturally go toward, and that's going to go a long way into helping you decide what kind of pedalboard amp you would actually add on your board to help get you those tones in a very, very small form factor that you don't have to lug around a 60-pound amp in and out of your gig, or waking up the neighbors because your amp is so loud and you don't really have an option to go direct. So Elizabeth is here, and of course she don't have a favorite because she don't play guitar, but she's always on the live stream, and I appreciate that. So come on in, Elizabeth, and we're gonna do some more learning here. Okay. Let me move this forward. We're actually not. I'm very limited on width space here. So first of all, let's just take off. This is going to be fun here. So this is the deconstructing of a pedal board. So we're going to take off the Ratsbane, which is a Wampler rat pedal. pretty much. And it's basically brand new. So if you want a Ratsbane pedal, hit me up. Let me know. Brandon Evans. Let me go show Elizabeth comment here real fast because I can. Elizabeth from California. She's a very old friend and always very sweet for coming on the live stream. Even though she don't know jack about music, but I'm sure she can play the radio pretty well. Brandon Evans, another old friend from Georgia. I like the Fender Blues Junior, but want to try out a Supro Delta King 12 as far as combos go. Brandon, I had a Supro, shoot, I don't remember what it's called now. One of the smaller Supro amps. I think it's the Keeley Custom, something like that. The Supro Keeley Custom, or a Custom 10. It's a great amp. Supro is just very, has a very in-your-face, very full, clean type sound. I do like this Wampler bell right here, so I may be keeping this pedal. Maybe. It's a very good mid-rangey type sound. Anybody else who's watching, go ahead and chime in. Let me know your name, where you're from, and well, I can see your name on the screen, but let me know where you're from. Give me your favorite amplifier. This is gonna be a fun conversation here. This is the Wampler Tumnus. Now this is based off of a Klon style pedal, which has become a mythical and mystical creature in its own right. So this is why Brian Wampler named it the Tumnus, because that is the creature from, I think, the Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe, or just something Greek mythology of some sort. I don't know. I'm sure there's all kinds of different stories out there floating around. So let's get rid of some of these cables here. And another reason why I want to go a slightly different direction. I mean, I like this setup, but I really feel that some of the overdrive sounds you get in these digital units are just really good. Really, really good. So I'm going to turn off the HX Stomp if I can find a way to do that. Because I've compared different Tube Screamers, Rats, T-Moz, just different physical pedals to the digital counterparts, and I can't really tell the difference myself. I really can't. And plus digital is just so easy nowadays. My main goal for these boards that I'm going to be making is really just for studio tools. I don't really play out hardly at all. Let me switch back to my other camera here, just for fun. Just for fun. Is it going to do it? There we are. Hey, what's up, guys? So I got my camera here, and let's unplug this MIDI and see what we got. So I'm just going to throw the cables down here wherever they fall. And it's really not a lot of work to put together a board like this. I'm just using very minimal pedals, very minimal cables. Usually if you're dealing with loops, of any kind, you're basically just sending one cable out. Like for instance, this pedal right here, right? The back of this pedal has a send and a return, or you can call it a input and an output. That's all really a send and return is. It's just an in and an out for either your power amp section of an effects loop on an amp, or whether it's on a pedal. And it's very popular these days to have a dual pedal, which is a 2-in-1 type pedal. And they're going to give you that option to go in one side, out the other, and then in the second side and out that same side. So you can either put this in a switcher like the Boss MS3 is, or maybe you're using like a gig board, not a gig board, a gig rig like G2 system, or in like the Bradshaw big rig, 80s, 90s type, just huge rigs. I think Fractal has a lot of switching type stuff available. Just really all kinds of companies. If you think Keith Urban has like this big switching unit. Obviously U2, the Edge, the guitar player for YouTube. He has for U2, he has a huge switching unit for all his pedals and amps, and he can just hit one button and it switches all that stuff for him. So this is a very popular way of connecting pedals, and then still getting the very hands-on approach of turning knobs, and not have to deal with like menu diving and all that stuff that you do have to get with digital. So let's take off, if I can. This Velcro is very hard. So this is the HX Stomp. It is a very powerful pedal, but it is slightly limited in DSP compared to the full-size Helix. And really, once you get an amp in there and get some reverbs and delays and some other effects, I mean, you've pretty much maxed out the DSP very quickly. And I think, to me, that's just a little limiting. I am a Headrush user, and everything from the Pedalboard, the gig board, and the new MX5 all have the same exact DSP. Whatever rig you make on one, you can transfer over to the other one, and there's no lack of features or sounds that you can get just because you have the smaller MX5 versus the bigger Pedalboard. And that is not the case with the HX Stomp. So if you're buying it just for the amp, I think it's great. But if you're expecting to get all of this crazy cool like effects all in one preset, it's probably not going to happen. You're going to be hitting that DSP wall pretty fast. So with all that said, let's do something a little different here. Yeah. This Velcro is very stout. Let me highlight Sean White's comment. Hey Sean, thanks for coming in. Before the big switch to Headrush, I was playing a Marshall TSL 60 half stack. Wow. Oh yeah. It's good stuff, man. Marshall TSL 60s, any kind of big time Marshall head or combo amp should have an effects loop, and those are great for using 4-cable method, which just means you can use like your dirt pedals into the input of your amp. And this is like, for instance, this is a Blue Guitar Amp 1. So all pedals go into the input, and then you're going to use the effects loop send in return to go to any kind of wet effects. Like your like modulation for me would be chorus, tremolo, and then you'd want your delays and reverbs going into the effects loop of your amp. So that way you can still go to a nice crunch sound on your Marshall TSL 60 and not get all the reverb going into the front end and just getting all washy and messy sounding, which I'm not a fan of. So had a pedal board with 11 pedals also. So yeah, you're well aware of all the tap dancing and all the, is very flexible to have all those pedals and a nice amp and all that stuff. But at some point, if you're really wanting to go down the route of making multiple presets and being able to recall all those presets at like the one tap of a switch, then really going digital is the way to go. And that was my journey for years and years and years. I had the Gig Rig G2, not the G2, but it was a Gig Rig Pro 14 If you go search on my Instagram, I should have a picture of that somewhere. It was a disaster. It was just cables everywhere, power supplies. It almost gave me the functionality that I wanted, and what I desired was to have all these sounds that I could change different presets with, and just get any sound I wanted with the hit of a switch. But then when I saw the functionality of stuff like this, going digital, where you can have all your sounds internally and still make presets and do all your tap tempo stuff or your delays, control other stuff with your PC and CC messages with MIDI. It was just a very straight path to digital for me. And after I saw the Pete Thorne video of him demonstrating the Headrush pedal board, I was like, bam, that's it. But before I bought the Headrush pedal board, and let me show you what I did end up getting. So the HX Effects is what I purchased to replace literally my whole. I had a Boss ES8, which is what I was using to switch pedals in and out of the signal chain and making different presets and different combinations of pedals. And so I sold the Boss ES8, which is I'll probably sell it for like $400, probably something like that. Let me clean this off here. Sorry, I got distracted. And I had, some True Tone pedals, and I really had a bunch of stuff. Here is a picture real fast of an old pedal board that I had. Coincidentally, let me share my screen real fast. Share screen. We're going to go to a window. There we are. So this was an old pedal board that I had. And I actually had one that was a little bit bigger than this on a pedal pad pedal board. But this was on a pedal train fly layout. And, I had two Eventide H9s, which if you bought one max, you got the second one as a max, because you could use full effects on those. And I had a Wampler compressor, a fuzz, a reverb, a Pog 2, which I love the Pog 2. That's a great pedal. And I still hadn't found a digital option for that, or a digital version that really recreates that sound truly. So I hope that Headrush comes out with something more Pog 2-ish. Not just an octave up and an octave down, but like a true Pog 2 with all the nuances and stuff like that. Here's a Wampler Dual Fusion. So once again, you had the 2-in-1 type pedal going on there, and then the Line 6 M5, which I was using for mainly some modulation stuff and an auto volume echo, and also like volume pedal, stuff like that. So that's a very old board that I used to have. But really, since the Line 6 HX Effects came out, that replaced everything. I was like, all right, I can easily sell all my pedals. This gives me presets available on. I can assign any effects I want to a switch or a snapshot, as Helix or as Line 6 calls them. And this is just a no-brainer right here. So if you're looking for something to replace all your effects, this is a great way to do it, because the drives sound great. All the modulation, delay, reverb sound awesome. They have all the filter effects in there that you'd ever want. Now, I feel like the DSP on this doesn't run out as fast as the HX Stomp. So you could pair these together and put like an amp and stuff like that, and then you can have the rest of the effects on here. So that is an option, and I have looked into doing that. Let me move some stuff around on the board here. and possibly show you what that would look like. And I've almost made a full video on this, but I'm kind of running out of space on this board. I think the board would need to be like a little bit longer, possibly. But let me switch back over to my other camera here. And I'm going to get to your comments, okay? Going back to my Epoch Cam. Maybe. Should be going back. Epoch Cam, come on. Hello. Let's check some comments here real fast. Beast Owner, hey Doc, first time catching a live. Been watching a lot of your videos lately and trying to get the most out of my MX5. Yeah, man. I got some more MX5 videos coming out very, very soon. So be on the lookout for that. And Ben Evans saying was actually just programming patches for a set list with my HX effects I got recently got. HX effects is great. I really love the form factor of that. Straight out of what would you recommend amp simulator pedal for HX effects? Yeah, I mean that's kind of what I'm talking about. So I don't know why my camera's not switching back over. Epoch Cam. Epoch Cam. Come on, I need you to work. I need you to work, fool. Okay, maybe you'll switch over now. There we go. So HX Stomp, if you add this to the HX effects, you can use all the effects on here and not take up as much DSP that you can on the HX Stomp, and you can still just use this as the amp and maybe a little bit of extra wet effects on the end. And there's a few different ways you can connect this. You can go guitar input to HX effects, and then you can have the Stomp going into a loop. So therefore the loop would be doing let me turn this on here. You can power the Stomp and the HX effects with a True Tone CS6 or a CS7 or a CS12, as long as you have the red adapter and the green adapter in that order. So the green always goes into the unit, and then you can just turn it on that way. But let me show you. I did update both of these to 3.15. So you can see here, if you click on the three lines, I might have to move the camera down just a little bit so you can see what's going on there. Okay, you want to click on signal flow, and now you can see you got 3 slots here, 3 slots on the second one, and then 3 slots on the third one. So you get 9 slots in total, which you do get 9 slots on the HX Stomp. I think it's 9. Is it 9? Yeah, I think it is 9 on the HX Stomp. So essentially you have 18 slots between the two pedals, and then if you connect them with the MIDI cable, which I'm using the let me get it with my foot here. I'm using the One Control MIDI cable, and I like this because you can actually change the direction of the cable and make everything routed the way you want. Yeah, totally. You can definitely control the effects I/O. Yes, you can. Yep, you can do line in. So Beast Owner says you can connect another line in through the effects return. That is true. You can definitely do that. Beast Owner says I run E-drums and guitar through the headrush and into FRFR speaker. It's fun to make loops and jam alone at home. Yeah, man. I got an E-kit right over here. It's the Roland VAD 503 that I really like. And it's a fun kit so far. I'm a drummer also starting my guitar journey now. Yeah, that's what's great about really music in general is you can get the rhythm stuff from the drums and then apply that rhythm that you know to strumming and all that stuff. So and Music Chris says thanks. Yeah, so that's really cool. So yeah, just connect these two with the MIDI cable, and then you're able to have the HX Effects talk to the HX Stomp. So let's go back to how you would connect these a little bit. Okay, let me move this over just a touch. So essentially you go 4-cable method, right? That's the first way you could do it. So guitar in, and then the send of one of the loops on the back. If I can show you that there. So we got the loops, send and return there on the right. That you're going to take the send and go into the input of the HX Stomp. Then the send on the side of the Stomp is going to go to the return. And then the output of the effects, HX Effects, is going to go to the return here. And then your main output on the HX Stomp would go out to your audio interface, FR speaker, or PA system, like mixing board PA system of some sort. Okay, so that's the 4-cable method in a nutshell, and I have multiple videos on that topic alone. Or the second way I would do it is you could put, well, the way I was using the Boss MS3, I guess there's 3 ways technically. The way I was using the Boss MS3 was I was going guitar into the Stomp and then sending and returning the input and the output right here of the Boss MS3 into the loop of the Stomp. So that way the whole entire unit and the pedals plugged into the loops were on one effect block in the Stomp, and I can turn that on and off with a switch. So you could do that with the HX Effects. You could just have the whole unit within an effects loop send and return block on the Stomp, and then you could bypass the whole effects if you wanted to. But that's somewhat limiting. I mean, not really, but let's just say you wanted to use the HX Effects only for like your drives and your phase and flange type stuff and your filter stuff, with the expression pedal. And then the Stomp would be your amplifier and your delays, reverbs, and stuff like that. So essentially, that's how I was using the Boss MS3, and you would just do that with the HX Effects. Or guitar into the HX Effects, and then use the effects send and return on here to go into the input and the output of the HX Stomp. Essentially having the whole Stomp on one block, right here, the effects loop 2 or effects loop 1 block. So you would have the amp in the middle with some effects in the beginning, some effects after it, and then you can still use the Stomp with some pre-effects and post-effects. So I think that would be the most ideal. And you could just have a preamp or an amp model in the Stomp and not even have a cab. And you can add an IR block. Let me get to the bottom here. Impulse response. So yeah, you could select all the different impulse responses you wanted with the end of the chain. So you would essentially have like any kind of modulation there, and then delays and a reverb. And you could take this and you can move it down if you wanted to. Sorry, let's go here. So maybe your amp block is here. Then you still have 2 slots for modulation and then 2 slots for delay and reverb, or maybe 1 slot for modulation, 2 delays and 1 reverb, or just whatever combination that you wanted to do that in. Let's check the comments real fast. Sean White says, wonder why none of the big worship sites or YouTubers, besides a very select few, use or demo Headrush. All use Helix or Kempers. They are missing out. Headrush is great. I definitely prefer Headrush tones over, the Stomp and stuff like that. But both are great, really. It's just personal preference. Ben Evans. See, we have a Brandon Evans and we have a Ben Evans, so that's kind of funny. Trick I recently found on the HX for higher gain stuff is a tube screamer. If a tube screamer isn't enough, try running a Klon into a tube scream 808 into the amps. Sounds super tight. Yeah, man. Because the tube screamer is going to roll off that low end and also push a little bit of mid-range. And then the Klon is going to add another amount of gain, and it's going to push the mid-range in a slightly different frequency. So yeah, all those things together just kind of come together there. Going back a little bit, Music Chris is from Idaho. That's cool. I visited Idaho not too long ago. Well, actually, it was about 7 years ago, but to me, it was not too long ago. Let's see where I am on the comments here. Music Chris was torn between the Headrush and the Helix, but now I'm leaning to Headrush. I know about the I/O. I know on Helix can have 3 guitars connected at once with different signal chains. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can do that. If you need that functionality, it's definitely, it's an option. But for me, I try to keep things really simple, so I don't try to dive in too much about all that. Ben Evans says he used a Pod Go for a while, but found it uninspiring. Going back to valve amps with HX effects was the best decision I've ever made. Yeah, man, if you have a great amp that you like, the HX effects is infinitely amazing. I mean, it's just great. It sounds great. And what I like about it is this. You get one line 6 product, and they just keep giving you more and more effects. So if you get bored with the current 200 effects you have, well, here's like 10 more in just a few months. I think this last update they had like 18 different effects they added, and it wasn't really something that they had to recreate. They were just taking effects from old units and putting them into the stomps and effects and the full size Helix pedal board. So B Stoner, I really looked at the Line 6 stuff, but settled on HR because I knew I would spend nights tweaking sounds on PC and not playing. Yeah, I mean that can happen. I do like the HX native plugin. If I really need something from Line 6 in like a recording, and I can just add that plugin to a track and get whatever effects I want. Because I mean, Line 6 does have great shimmers, some otherworldly type reverbs and delays. So if you just need something like that, I mean, I think the HX native plugin is like $100 if you buy a HX product. So you can get it for pretty cheap. And so that's what I did. I bought the HX effects, and then I got the Helix native plugin, and I kind of get the best of both worlds whenever I need it. But for the most part, Headrush is my ride or die, tried and true. Line 6 and Kemper online communities seem much larger. Definitely one downside of HRUsh. Yeah, I mean, it's just Line 6 and Kemper has been around for a lot longer. And honestly, there's so many Headrush groups. I mean, it's kind of silly to have so many groups. I mean, at least Line 6 Helix group is really the main, that one main group, and it has probably close to 30,000 people in there now. I think it was 24, 25K the last time I checked. But I don't go snooping around the Line 6 Helix Facebook group that much anymore. One more comment, then we're going to get back to the video here. Currently I'm using a Sans amp. Yeah, man. Try AC with HX effects. Should I put IR at the end of my chain? Yes, you should. If I'm using a Boss Katana 100, return power amp in. That's another video I'm going to be doing pretty soon. I got a Boss Katana 100 combo, and that power amp in is very, very powerful for amplifying any kind of IR driven setup. You know, like the HX Stomp or Headrush or Kemper or whatever you're using. The Boss Katana at that point is basically just it's a power amp and a speaker for your digital modeling. All right, we're caught up on comments there. So yeah, HX Effects and then HX Stomp, you can utilize those two really, really well. Okay, so let's get into let's quit talking about the HX Stomp for a second. Let's get into some other options here. And this is an older amp, probably just a few years old. There are definitely some newer options from this company, but this is a Quilter Interblock 45. Okay, there's nothing digital about this. This is all analog. Okay, and it's the size of a pedal. If you look at the Pantheon here, it's essentially the same box as the Pantheon, but you have a 45 watt amplifier on your board. Now, the 45 watts is somewhat deceiving. You only get that if you plug into a 4-ohm speaker cab. I only have 8-ohm speaker cab, so it's technically only 33 watts, but it's a loud 33 watts. I mean, it's very, very loud. Okay, so what I'm going to end up doing with this board here, let me do something different just momentarily. I'm going to unplug that. Try not to break a nail. So I'm going to put this on the very end right here. And I'm going to raise this back up so you can kind of see a little bit better. Okay. So this L6 Mission Engineering expression pedal I've had for about 8 or 9 years. I've toured Europe with it. This thing is a hoss, is a beast. It's a brick. You can throw it off a cliff and it still works. So this is my main expression pedal that I use with the HX Effects, as long as I have it on a board that fits. And then the only issue with the Quilter Interblock 45, or I call it an IB 45 just for short, is the cab simulation out is not the greatest. So what I'm going to do, and I think I made a video on this probably 2-ish years ago, but I kind of got distracted by other things and I ripped it apart. But I'm going to end up using the Blue Guitar amp, Blue Box. It's a speaker emulator IR. And it's very, very simple to use. You just dial in the cab that you want. Then there's a mic position. Either make it darker or you can make it brighter. Okay. And that's going to go right here. And I need to add Velcro to the bottom of this. But you can see that I have all my effects here. I have my amp, so I can drive an actual speaker cab. Or if I want to go direct, which I usually do, I can use the Blue Guitar Blue Box for the line out, or it has a speaker, or sorry, not a speaker, but an XLR connection there on the side. So it just makes it very, very convenient to go using the IB45 as the voice, as the amplifier on the board. And then I just go line out to the line input over here on the blue box, and then take a line out either 1/4 inch or XLR into an FR speaker, into audio interface if I want, or I can go into a mixing board to therefore blast out through a PA. Okay. And really with the line out and XLR, I could go line out to a FR speaker, which I have a Headrush 108 right over here. And then, so that can be my stage volume. And then the XLR out on the side can just go direct to the front of house guy. So he can do his thing and blend in the band with whatever I'm doing. So, I'm going to move this over just a tad. Just a tad right there. But what I like about the IB45, which is different from the HX Stomp, with the Stomp, you literally get like 100 different amps. But there's no way you're going to play all 100 amps in a set list, at your gig or whatever. It's just too much time. You do not need that many sounds. So really what I've been preaching here a lot lately is just think about categories of tones. Okay? I want you to think about a clean tone, think about a crunch tone, and then think about a lead tone. And if you can dial in sounds for those 3 categories, you'll have pretty much everything you need as far as sounds for your band and whatnot. Because really the only difference to me between a crunch tone and a lead tone is pushing a tube screamer in front of the crunch sound. Because a tube screamer does a nice thing in a nice way of just crunching up and even like a low to mid gain amp. And then it just pushes it even more into the lead territory. And maybe you add a little bit of delay and some other stuff, and you have a nice lead sound now. So with the Quilter IB45, I kind of keep the gain either at 12 o'clock or maybe 2 o'clock. So it's either very clean or just slightly pushed. And then I can kick in some pedals in front of that and get some great, some pretty great sounds just from this amp right here. So I do need to add some Velcro on the bottom of this so the pedal doesn't go flying around all over the place. Let's look at some more. We have Leander Shaw chiming in here. Hey Leander, how's it going? Is there a Strymon Flint sort of reverb on the HX effects? I had a Strymon Flint for a long time, and it's been a while since I've had it. And I got it because it is a great pedal for a reverb and a tremolo in the same, same box. But I think the reverb, you can pick between like a plate. I need to look that up real fast. Let's do some Google searching here. Strymon.net. Okay, so let's share my screen so you can see. Can you see what I see? Oh yeah. Okay, so we're gonna share that, and let's do something like that. Okay. Probably need to go back over here. A Perfect Gentleman. Tremolo and reverb is the earliest example of a guitar effect marriage. This is true. So the reverb, well, these are the tremolo types. We have a 61 harmonic tremolo, which I really like. The tube tremolo and the photo cell tremolo. And then you have a spring tank reverb, a plate reverb, and a hall rack reverb. So I want to say the HX Effects has pretty much all those covered. And with the new updates in the last, see, this pedal is only $900, or I mean 900. It's only $299. It's about $300. And on the used market, you can probably find it for about $225, maybe $250, somewhere in there, just depending on when you're looking. But I think this is a great pedal. If you're just looking for something very, very simple, you could add the Strymon Flint and then add just another very simple delay pedal. You could have all your wet effects taken care of, and then have some kind of amp sim on your board, have a few overdrives on the board, and that'd be a great all-around pedal board right there. Let me go to line 6 here. So I can't remember exactly all the different effects. Let's go to HX Effects. And if you look at the manual, they have descriptions of everything in the manual. Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of stuff. So they have the dynamic hall. They had an update. Yeah, 3.2 pilot sky. Let's see what that does. I'm trying to look for a list of some of the effects here. I know they have the dynamic halls, the plates. They have a hot springs. I mean, I think they just have a lot of great stuff as far as reverb and tremolos go. And the Gamma Me, the searchlights, all that stuff is pretty well established at this point. There's some great go-to reverbs there. And I have a whole series on my favorite effects and different effect categories that I use on the HX Effects. Is this even going to tell me? One thing I like about Line 6 is their manuals are very descriptive. Working in the editor, that's great. Yeah, I don't think this is going to have like all the effects laid out, which is fine. Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do. So let me share that. Share this screen here. It's a pilot's guide. So I'm not sure if you can see that well or not. Let me blow this up a little bit bigger on the screen. But for reverbs, so this is some of the legacy stuff, like plate, room, chamber, hall, echo, tile, cave, ducking, octo. That's my favorite shimmer ever. 63 spring and particle verb. That thing is great too. But they just added in the 3.10 and 3.15 updates the dynamic hall, the plate, the room, the shimmer, hot springs, the glitz, Ganymede, searchlights, plateau, and double tank. I mean, if you can't get a great reverb sound with just those right there alone, then you're doing something wrong, because that's a great amount of reverb options there. Then you have all the different delays here, like reverse, duct, sweep echo, which comes from the green DL4, a pedal, ping pong. There's a Cosmos echo, which is like your Roland Space Echo, which is great. There's a deluxe Memory Man, which is the Elephant Man type thing. So you really have the full gamut of delay and reverb options in this HX Effects here. We're going to see a comment from Jo. We got, greetings from Portugal. I really do love Line 6 effects, but I'm happy with what I use. Just is that is just PV Bandit 112. Yeah, man. A red stripe combo with my Boss GT6 and just for reverb, chorus, and delay. I have had the PV Bandit teal stripe edition, but I have yet to play the red stripe combo, and I may just pick one up. If I find one for a good deal, I may pick one up and just be like, hey man, I got a PV red stripe. Because they do sound good. They have a great clean, they have a great overall overdrive. And what's cool about the HX effects is you can use the expression, one of the expressions here, to change channels on an amp. So you could have a foot switch called up, maybe 1 or 2 foot switches that you can say like, I want to change it to, here's my clean channel, here's my dirty channel, here's where I can turn off on and off the reverb, here's my delay, here's my tremolo, and here's an overdrive. Bam. You can control the amp, kick in whatever effects you want via the 4 cable method right there from the HX effects. So it's great. It's really great. I love it. Brandon Evans, I like the Electro Harmonics pedals. Works well with a really good price. Yeah, you can get. They have great overdrives. I had the Canyon delay a few years ago, and that's a great little delay pedal. That actually worked really well with the Strymon Flint as far as like reverb, tremolo, and then using the Electro Harmonics Canyon for your delay sounds. This is a great little setup right there, I think. Let's see what else we got. Sean White, off subject. What's the most versatile guitar you own? Mine is a PRS McCarty. I mainly right now just have Reverend guitars. And if I go back to my my webcam here, see if that's going to show up. Are we going to show up? Sorry. Trying to get my other webcam to show up here. Webcam, hello. But anyway, I can probably move my camera this way. What's up, guys? So, I'm really liking the Gristlemaster from Reverend. This is a Greg Cox signature model. This is a great all-around guitar. It has Fishman Fluence pickups, which are dead silent. Whether you're playing clean or playing like heavy metal, dirty type stuff, it's great. And then this is my humbucker style guitar, which is the Reverend Sensei. This has real hammer pickups, basically a bass contour knob, a tone knob, volume, 3-way switch. And I just love the neck. I love everything about it. It has an ebony fretboard, big block inlays, and this is this will shred your face off. So that's what I like for guitars. But it's kind of awkward having the phone like this, I know. Let's just face it back down. There we go. I have never owned a PRS guitar, and I would like to eventually. Yeah, Brandon never says some type of telly. Leander says, great man, I'm waiting for the HX effects to be restocked. I'll be using it for all my digital time-based effects, so I guess one can't go wrong with the HX effects. This is true. Brandon Evans can't find a Canyon in stock. Have you looked on Reverb? Reverb.com, eBay, Marketplace might have one. I would second this comment from Sean. Visual Sound, which is now True Tone. They're just right down the road from me here in Nashville. They actually live in, their shop is in Spring Hill, Tennessee, just right outside of Nashville. And they're great guys. They make great stuff. I had the VSXO for a long time and the Jekyll and Hyde distortion pedals. Just killer stuff. Greg is a beast. He actually made a Wildwood video playing my actual McCarty 594. That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I almost wished I bought the guitar that it came with some of his sweet licks, but it didn't. So I'm just gonna have to practice harder, I guess. All right, so this is my HX Effects and Quilter Interblock 45. But really, you can insert anything right here. Let me do another thing. Let me search for the NuX. It's not an Amp Force. It is the. I think it's called like a Studio something. Looking for products, amplifiers, effects, integrated. Integrated effects. What is this? No, that's that. Amplifiers, effects, core series. Shoot, I don't remember. It's one of the NuX pedals. But even the Strymon Iridium. It's a great little pedal that gives you a Fender, a Vox, and a Marshall sound, as well as some different IRs and a reverb within that pedal. So that would fit nicely in this slot right here. And it would also work great with the HX Effects or even a Boss MS3, something like that. Okay, so let's switch this up even more. Let's take off the quilter. And let's show you one other option that I personally have that I've been using for a few years now, and it's great. I am going to take off the expression pedal just for a little bit. And let's move this down to make way for the big drum roll. If you see my channel at all, you'll probably know that I have this, and I've made multiple videos on this. But this is the Blue Guitar Amp 1. And you can see why I like this setup, because these two units fit, neck and neck together just very, very well. The back is very, very clean as well. And what I like about this setup is I can use the MIDI power, the MIDI CC and PC messages to control the amp switching and the gain structure and many, many other things about the Amp 1 by setting up the MIDI learn process on the Amp 1, which I have multiple videos on. And this is just a really good setup because I can get all analog, preamp and power amp overdrive, because this has a mini tube in it. This is a Russian tube that will outlive all of us. That's what Thomas Blug says. This tube will outlive everybody, even the roaches, if they're, when Armageddon comes about. This tube will still be working. This is a 100 watt head. It has speaker outputs, so it's not just a preamp. It is a full-blown amplifier with a preamp section and a power amp section. It's got a record out on it, and it has a send and return and an input. You can hook up a foot switch on here to switch channels, analog instead of doing it with the MIDI. And this is just a great option for getting 4 different sounds, whether you want clean, vintage, classic, or modern. And then you can sprinkle in whatever effects you want on top of this. So you can kick it with a tube screamer in the 4-cable method and still have a great delay, great reverb, something like that. So I'm very, very torn right now between, because I love this setup, but I'm kind of waiting, and I'm making room for the new Amp X that's coming out in the summer for Summer NAMM. It's been a 2-year labor of love, probably more than 2 years really, but Thomas Blug introduced the Amp X at the 2020 NAMM show in Anaheim, and that's going to be the epitome of all analog amplification with the power of a 8-core DSP processor for all your effects, like all your wet effects like reverb, delay, stuff like that. And all the pedals and boost pedals and filters and everything else he's going to have in there is going to be all analog. So you don't have to fight between the digital and the analog realm, because it's going to have both in the same unit, which is going to be really, really cool. And once again, I don't play out at all. I don't gig. So I'm mainly just going to be using all these options for just studio work, just dialing in tones in the studio and having my clients feel comfortable with something they know that sounds good, whether that's a HX Effects, whether that's a quilter type option, whether you're using pedals in front of an amp like a Pantheon or like a Wampler Bell. Now this is a pretty killer little combo right here, because you got the mid-range of the Bell, but then this is a Blues Breaker on this side, and this is a Pantheon on the left side. So you have 3 different flavors of overdrive and distortion right on your board, which I think is great. I think it's great. But one option real fast. Let me get rid of that here. One option I may do, and I would have to have a different board for this, but I may, put like a Blue Guitar Amp 1, like kind of high up top, and then have a Boss MS3 right below it. And I would have to have this on some kind of like shelf or pedal riser type thing to kind of, have this up a little bit higher. Maybe something like that. And I've seen a lot of other guys use the MS3 with the Blue Guitar Amp 1, and you could still have a pedal or two on the board if you wanted to. So let's say I had this on, I had this on the board, and then maybe have I really don't need anything else other than the MS3, because everything it has great sounds, especially if I'm using the Amp 1 just for the preamp section. And then I'm using the MS3 for your tube screamer type boost, kick in a little bit of reverb, have an always on reverb, a very simple delay for like lead sounds. Pedals are great, but if I'm really trying to simplify things, just having the MS3, Blue Guitar Amp 1, maybe have an expression pedal. And then if you measure this out, you can see it's a very small and compact option for a pedal board. And someone comes in and says, hey, I want to play through that blue guitar. It's like, all right, great. Well, here's some presets. You can kick in your tube screamer, maybe something else, a delay and a reverb. The delay will have tap tempo already on it. So I can just use the same switch for that. And then here's something for like a wall pedal type thing, or controlling whatever. So I think this is going to be the way to go for me, is finding either some scrap wood and just making my own little pedal board with this. And because the thing with this is I'm going to have to use 2 power supplies. I'm going to have to use an IEC cable on the back for the amp 1, and then probably just use a 1 spot, which I have somewhere. I have a 1 spot from Visual Sound, True Tone Visual Sound 1 spot. I can use that to power the MS3, and then most expression pedals don't need power anyway. Or I can just add a wall pedal, like a basic wall pedal in front of this, like a cheap one from Hotone or something like that. So that's basically it, guys. Let me reuse this here. Let's flip it around. Whoa. Yeah, that kind of works. I mean, it's not the greatest. Kind of looks bad. Still looks really bad. Trying to get it to focus a little bit better, but it's fine. You can see my drum set back here, my Roland VAD 503. Let's check the comments. And we've been going for about an hour and 12 minutes, so that's pretty good. Sean says Visual Sound H2O is great. Had it for 15 years. That's a cool pedal. I really prefer. I just really prefer delay pedals that have tap tempo, and the H2O does not have tap tempo. So I mean, I understand you have to take the delay and just kind of set it and forget it, or find a way to use your foot to adjust the delay time, whether you want like a slap back or maybe a longer, just in general long type reverb or delay. And then the chorus, you know, you can use that for a faux Leslie sound, or you can use it for just like a nice lush clean chorus for like clean parts. All kinds of options there. You can tell that this is not a great camera option for lighting, because I have too much light on my face and the camera is just not, the phone's just not picking it up very well. Now I could do this, turn it this way. Now that's better. That's a little bit better right there. Oh, Elizabeth Burke says she learned a lot tonight. That is great. That's what I'm here for, Elizabeth. I'm glad you learned something. This may inspire you to become a musician someday. So you can rock out for your husband and your kids and all that stuff. So whether you like the HX effects, okay, or maybe you like the Boss MS3, you know, you got the analog quilter type stuff, you got the analog Blue Guitar Amp 1 options. HX Stomp is a really good option, but you have to consider the DSP limitations and only use it for the amp, and maybe just sprinkle in a little bit of effects on top of there. But you will want to supplement this with either another HX effects or some pedals. Maybe use some analog pedals as your front end. And then that's actually be a pretty decent option, really. Let me show you that real fast, just real fast. I'm really bastardizing the board tonight. So let me move the camera back. Hello. There we go. It's kind of working. All right, it's close enough. Close enough. All right, so HX Stomp at the end. Let's say we did have a bell and a Pantheon right here. Right, this would be a super small and pretty powerful pedal board. Because you would essentially, you could have the Pantheon and the Wampler in a loop of the HX Stomp, just like I used the Boss MS3. You could go guitar to input, and then the send to the input of the bell, out of the bell to the input of the Pantheon, out of the Pantheon into the return of the Stomp. Then use your main output right here for to go into your your audio interface, FR speaker or whatever. Man, that's a hard decision. If I did keep the Stomp, this is probably what I would end up doing. I would sell off the Ratsbane and the Tumnus. I mean, I do like this pedal, but the bell is really not something that the HX Stomp has. The bell is basically an ODR overdrive pedal, and that's something that the Line 6 really hadn't addressed as effect options. So I could easily have a very, very small pedal board with just 2 overdrives, and then I would use the Stomp for my delay, reverb, tremolo, have the amp always on, maybe have a compressor at the beginning of the chain, and I could give this to anybody in the studio and be like, all right, there's your overdrive options. Here's your tremolo, delay, and reverb, or leave the reverb always on, and maybe just have a few different snapshots of different combinations of effects. So that is a very hard decision. Very hard decision. Because I see a lot of people having very tiny boards with based around the HX Stomp, and I could see myself doing that. So, let me know. Do you like the Stomp, or do you like the Quilter with the HX Effects combination? What do you like? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this a week from now and you've made it this far in the video, an hour and 18 minutes into the video. Sean White says, very informative. The main reason I switched over to digital and headrush. Yeah, for sure. It's very, very convenient. Very convenient. But there's still something about knobs that people like. It's just very straightforward. You don't have to dive into different menus and stuff. And I can see if you're in the studio and you just want something really fast to dial in. All you have to do is just turn some knobs, and there you are. So I might experiment with that. Let me give me a few days. I have a smaller board that I can utilize for this, and I can make an HX Stomp based pedal board just with 2 overdrives, the Stomp. I'm gonna have to figure out a power supply for this thing. Probably just use the CS6 that I currently have down here and figure out something else. Because the issue with this is you have to have its own power supply. You can't power it off of a brick like the CS6 or Voodoo Labs Pedal Power Plus or any of these, any kind of those pedal powering options. So yeah, if I go this route, I'm gonna have to use 2 separate power supplies, right? If I went this route, which is kind of funny, if I went this route, I would still have to use 2 power supplies because I don't have enough of the green and red adapters to power either the HX Stomp or the HX Effects. But I can Velcro the original Line 6 power supply underneath the board. And then I have a basically an IEC Y cable, like a splitter IEC cable that I got off of Amazon that I usually use to power my Blue Guitar Amp 1 and whatever else I'm using with it. So I'm very used to that setup. Ooh. And I could find the original power supply for this as well. But then I would have to figure out how to power the Blue Guitar Blue Box. And that's just another... It's another thing to consider. So, do I want to go that route? Do I want to just do like a very simple little board like this? Put these in the loop of the Stomp. And the loop would always be on, and then I can just kick on different pedals as I need to. And Blue Guitar Amp 1 and Boss MS3 style board. So yeah. Or if you're like me, you could just use a gig board, a Headrush gig board, a Headrush MX5, a Headrush pedal board, and that gives you all the different options there. See, I have the webcam selected, but for some reason it's just not. Oh, weird. Hi, I'm back using the Zoom Q8, which looks horrible, but it is what it is. So I really like this Melon app. It's fun to stream and show the comments on the screen. And Brandon Evans says, I like knobs. Yeah, if you're looking at the Electro Harmonics stuff, then you're definitely a knob man for sure. Because there's not a lot of deep diving with our Electro Harmonics. Now, one thing, if I could find this real fast, electroharmonics.com, affecting music since 1968. So, the Electro Harmonics guy, I can't remember his name right this second. He made the original Memory Man. He made the Big Muff. I mean, you can't get more iconic than that. Shoot. Utility. It's probably going to be under utility. The Super Switcher. That's what I'm thinking of. Let me show you this real fast. Share my screen. Chrome tab. Super Switcher. Share. So let me check the... Yeah, you can see that pretty good. This beard is tickling my nose. Sorry. So this thing is going to have your... See if you can see that. Yeah, you can. This thing is going to have the ability to plug in pedals on the back. And you have a MIDI in and out, which is cool. So essentially, you have a way to plug in all your pedals, and then you can make presets For all your pedals, you have a bank up and down, you have a preset mode, a tap tempo, a tuner, which is cool. You're probably using the LEDs right here for the tuner. You have a boost, a control 2, and a control 1. So I think that's pretty powerful. If you're going to go the full-on pedal route, having a simple switcher like this is really, really cool. There is a boost knob for the boost level, and that's great because you don't have to have a separate pedal for the boost. You can just boost it right on the super switcher, and that thing is $430. So super switcher with some effects, with the HX Stomp, maybe some other delay and reverb options, whatever you want, throw them all into the loops. And now you can switch in and out between different combinations. You can change MIDI with the super switcher and all that stuff. So, yeah, Brandon, if you're really big in the pedals, you want a good overall switcher, this is a good way to do it. Because, I mean, a boost pedal itself could be anywhere from $60 to $100. And by the time you add in like a tap tempo option and some other stuff, I mean, shoot, you're already in a few $100. And this one switcher, even though it's a little big, you would have a little bit bigger pedal board. This one switcher right here would give you a lot of flexibility. You know, the control 1 and control 2, that's how you can control different pedals on your board. Maybe it does amp switching. I'm not really sure. But you can go into preset mode and manual mode, which means the 8 switches here you can now turn on and off just like they were individual pedals. And then when you hit preset, now these switches turn into actual presets that you have stored and recalled on the switcher. Now they don't have scribble strips, so you can't really name the presets. You just kind of have to remember like where you save and store your different presets and stuff, especially if you're using different banks. So I'll try to keep things really simple and say, like, you know, preset 1 would be a clean, preset 2 would be clean with delay, preset 3 would be your crunch sound, 4 can be crunched with delay, 5 is lead, 6 is lead with delay, and then 7 can be like your overall ambient patch. Maybe 8 would be like a funk type thing. I'm not really sure. Then on any of those presets, you can kick in the boost pedal. You can do your tap tempo as long as you have that outputted to a like a control in or something on your delay pedal. And you got a tuner on board, which some tuners nowadays are already, you know, $100. I know a Boss TU3 tuner is like $110 brand new. So this one switcher gives you a lot of flexibility there. It is super nice. You should definitely check it out. I have not reviewed it myself. And I'll probably have to watch some more videos on it. But, oh, that's cool. Can I move this around? So that's the thing about the Melon amp. I wish I was able to actually move around some of these elements on the screen. That looks kind of nice. And that looks nice. And that looks nice. But I like that. So yeah, this kind of turned into, it went from amps on your pedal board to just pedal board talk in general, which I kind of like. I'm a pedal board guy. I've been using pedals for a very long time. I'm sure a lot of you guys have done the same thing, except for Elizabeth, obviously. And it makes sense that she's in California because it's midnight here in Nashville, Tennessee, which I just live south of Nashville. And she is 2 hours behind us. So it's only 10 o'clock for you. So you're not even ready for bed yet. So I'm definitely ready for bed. I need to be going to bed here soon because the new baby will be waking up anytime now wanting to be fed. So my wife was like, Nathan, you should just go to bed. It's like, yeah, but I really want to do a live stream. So and I wanted to get another video out this week, and I wanted to have another opportunity to test the Melon app, which is a browser-based form of streaming. And they do have a really killer deal right now, which I think there should be like there's probably another day left on this deal. So if you're interested, go to my website, drmcfarlandstudios.com, and send me a message, and I'll send you a link. You can check out the Melon app deal that's going on. It's super cheap. You can get in for either $5 a month or $15 a month, and they bill you yearly. So if you're interested in doing any kind of interview style streaming, like me and Elizabeth is going to do some interview stuff. Probably not, but you can. If you want to come on, Elizabeth, you're more than welcome to any time. We can talk about music. I can teach you about music theory. Maybe you can teach me about cooking or whatever you're interested in. We can just have a fun chat. But it's just a great way to have two people on the screen talking. And see, like I could be here and like another person could be below. Then we could be sharing a screen talking about a PDF file or an ebook or, all kinds of different stuff. So Aaron Short says, I use Ecamm Live. Yeah, this is another great option. Ecamm Live has been around for a few years. And really, price and saying something is expensive is just really relative. I mean, if you're getting tons of value out of what you're using, then whatever price you're paying, that's more than worth it, right? Because the value you're getting out is more than the money you're actually paying for it. So in Aaron's case, he's doing like 4 live streams a week, and he's making some pretty decent money every month doing that. So he easily pays for his yearly subscription in probably like a month or two, probably like a month. And then the whole rest of the year, it's just money he's making on top of that, getting money back into his pocket. So it's definitely just all about what you want to do. You should come on my channel, but you would have to talk. I can talk about acoustic guitars. I am going to be ordering Aaron some Foxwood coated phosphor bronze strings from stringjoy.com. Let me go there real fast. And why I'm interested in these is I've been playing Elixir strings for a very long time because they're coated and they're very easy on the fingers, and you don't have to you don't have to worry about your fingers squeaking a lot when you're trying to record. So I really like the coated strings, and really for $17.90, I mean, they're not that much more expensive than your Elixir brand strings, and they're a local Nashville company. So I definitely don't mind supporting a local company that makes a great product. And so I'm going to be buying a set of these and then comparing them. I will be comparing them to my Elixir strings, which I've easily had on for the last 6 months because I just don't play acoustic all that much. I mean, I will be playing it more once I get my studio set back up and I can be recording a lot more. But just here lately, I haven't been able to do it. Aaron Short does make $1 million per month, so I have no doubt that he does. He's killing it over on his channel. He did surpass me in subs, which I was a little bummed about, but it couldn't have happened to a greater guy. So, I'm proud of you there, Aaron. You've done a great job on your channel and really being consistent week after week, having great interviews, great gear talks, and all that stuff. So keep rocking there. So yeah, Stringjoy, Foxwoods. I usually play like a 12 through 54 gauge string, and these are the new coated strings. Says looking for a set of acoustic strings that have just the right amount of tension, the right amount of tone, and still have enough volume to annoy your neighbors. That's cool. Then you need a set of our light Foxwoods. These are going to work great for most guitars since they provide excellent low end and mid range volume while still being easy on the calluses. So that's going back to the touch and how they feel on your fingers. Foxwoods are the perfect coated phosphor bronze strings for players that love the bright, lively tone of uncoated strings but want the extra snap and longevity of coated strings. Pairing an enamel-coated wrap wire with a tinned hexagonal core, Foxwoods typically provide 2 to 3 times longer life and peak brightness compared to our uncoated strings. Hit the red button to add these to your cart. So you can do a one-time purchase, you can do every month, or you can do like a 3-pack, which kind of gets expensive. It's like $53.70 for a 3-pack, and then for a 6-pack, where you save 10%, it's $107. So if I bought 6 packs of them, I would literally be good for probably like the next 3 to 4 years for the amount of acoustic guitar that I play. And I feel like they're probably gonna be doing some kind of coated string for electric guitar here pretty soon as well, if they're not already. I don't see any options for coated on the electric guitar yet. They're just all signature strings, heavy bottoms. They do a good job of providing a lot of different gauges, like light tops, heavy bottoms, heavy tops, light bottoms, equal tension type stuff. So yeah, Aaron, if you want me on, I can definitely have soft hands. You weirdo. Sean says congratulations on the new family edition. Yes, thanks. He's the new baby's doing great. He's sleeping a lot and eating a lot and pooping a lot, which is all babies need to be doing. So I actually have pretty rough hands, Aaron. But the callus, I have nice hard calluses, but when you're recording, you don't want to hear all the squeaks. So that's really why I prefer coated strings versus non-coated, just for the pure recording aspect. And you can play a little bit longer on your guitar when you have coated strings. I love Quiznos subs. That's a good option for me. For eating, have a uke coming, so get ready. Oh yeah, he's got a ukulele. Nathan, do you still go to Walmart? I personally haven't been to Walmart in probably a few weeks. But yes, I go to Walmart. I don't remember why you're asking that. Maybe I did funny stuff at Walmart at one time or something. I don't know. But let me know if I need to go to Walmart for anything, because I definitely will. Soak your hands for 10 minutes before you record. That's no fun. See, I don't remember the inside joke, so you're gonna have to fill me in on the joking here. So now this is the opposite. Aaron Short is in New York. So for him it is 1:15 in the morning. So talk about night owl syndrome here. Aaron Short he stays up all night, I'm pretty sure. He probably sleeps till like 11 or 12. Then he wakes up, has some cereal, plays some guitar, then he does his live stream stuff. I don't know. You let me know what your schedule is, Aaron, but I'm pretty certain you stay up pretty late in the night. It's fine. Yeah, 1:15 in the morning. You got this, man. I believe in you. I believe in you. So I have messaged, if anybody from Zoom is watching right now, I have messaged the marketing team from Zoom, and they have a new Q8N 4K camera, which is the successor to the Zoom Q8 you're watching right now. And the Q8 is fairly decent if you're just recording regular stuff. But you can see that the webcam quality is not really that great at all. And it's way better using my phone for that situation than the Zoom. But the new 4K version, the Q8N, has a 4K video, and it doesn't have a touch screen. It has actual buttons you can go through the menu and select all your different settings with. And I really want Zoom to send me the new Q8N for testing purposes, and so I can be using it for streaming. And I would like to use my Canon for like other things, like for like a second or third angle for like shooting video stuff. I can incorporate my phone, have the Zoom, have my Canon, and have a lot of different multicam setups going on for when I make content for my website and just in general YouTube and Facebook and stuff like that. So Zoomer in Long Island, yeah. Aaron says rock and roll. Yeah, Aaron, I need to be updated on this Walmart fiasco, apparently, because I don't remember. Oh, yeah. So I probably went to Walmart to get nail supply stuff. Maybe like nail files, nail polish, like nail strengthener, all that stuff. I'm not even sure. Not even sure. And actually, more specifically, I shop at Sally's Beauty Supply. If you want the best quality selection of nail files, nail strengthener and hardener, spray to harden your super glue when you're gluing on ping pong balls, all that stuff. This is probably what you're talking about, I'm sure. Yeah, Sean is also in Eastern Time in Kentucky. So thanks for all the content and God bless. Yeah, thanks for watching, Sean. Is that your PRS there in the picture? Because if so, I'm going to have to play that thing because it's pretty sweet. PRS is really great for having really beautiful tops, like maple tops on their guitars. They just really, they just really stand out. Yeah, I need to get like a mini drone to just kind of fly around the room, like over my head, and like, get different angles of me playing and demonstrating stuff. That'd be really cool. I can see that happening. I definitely did not work at Walmart. I would just shop there. Aaron, I have a DSLR. It's a Canon M50 and it works great. But for some reason with the Melon app, it just doesn't want to connect. I have contacted Melon support to figure out why the camera does not want to show up. But my phone shows up under Epoch Cam. And oh, that's weird. So I have to choose the other one in order to see the Q8 now. And then I choose the webcam Q8 to see to see the phone. So it's all good. Brandon Evans says, just picked up a new set of clippers at Sally's. Boom. There you go. Sally's is a great place to shop. And Elizabeth is just laughing about the whole thing. I don't know why. Yeah, so I would go to Walmart and I would buy ping pong balls. Because my classical guitar teacher at MTSU showed me how you can reinforce your nail by super gluing ping pong balls underneath your nail. And then from Sally's, you would buy this French wrap, which is you would just cut out little sheets of it to put over the nail, and then put super glue, spray the contact instant super glue hardener or dryer onto your nail. Then you would use the nail file with like 4 different sides, so it has like the different grits. You would just buff it down to make like a really smooth nail for your for classical guitar playing and stuff like that. So I couldn't keep that up while working at Gibson while I actually made guitars, because it was just so hard on your hands and your nails, and I was always breaking nails, and just it didn't make sense. Aaron says he wants a PRS DGT, which if you make $1 million a month, Aaron, you should easily be able to afford that guitar. So get right on that for sure. This melon is a lemon. Yeah, it's all good. Aaron, I do have a video on my channel. If you want to search for ping pong ball nails or something to that effect, you'll see a video of me going through my process of applying a ping pong ball, the French wrap, and the super glue, and buffing it all out to make it look nice and smooth. And it really does look legit. I mean, once you get the ping pong ball on there and get it all smoothed out, it looks like a natural nail. And it's very, very hard, and it works great for playing. The only problem is after about 3 or 4 days, especially if you're working with your hands a lot, I could probably get away with it now because I just don't use my hands with like hard labor like I used to. But after about 3 or 4 days, the super glue would start coming off on the edges. You would have to reapply the super glue, rebuff it down, and then maybe after like 2 weeks, you'd have to just take the whole thing off and redo it, because super glue only lasts so long, especially once you keep getting it wet from washing your hands, taking a shower. I'm sure all you viewers are like, man, this guy's a dork. He's putting ping pong balls on his nails just to play classical guitar. It doesn't make sense. Things we do for a guitar. So yeah, I started Gibson guitar at 2005. So it was about a year after I graduated MTSU. Which has nothing to do with my music degree. You don't have to know how to play or read or anything. You don't have to do anything with music to work at Gibson guitars. All you have to do is just follow instructions, not get your finger cut off, and work some machinery, and you're pretty much good to go. So I started in 2005, and I worked all the way up until October of 2015. 2014, right before I did my Europe tour. So that's a whole nother story that I can tell at another time. So I just made it just shy, I think 6 months shy of working there 10 years at Gibson Guitars. This is where I get my big muscles from slinging that wood around all day. And I'm not sure what's going on here, but I definitely got the guns going on. No, I don't. I don't really. Aaron should do a private stock with his income. Yeah, man. Probably could go to factory and handpick the materials, especially if he were to do a YouTube video of the process. So if so, I'd like to go for the idea. Yeah, man. Get with Aaron on that, and you can team up. Yep. Pretty much 9 years, 6 months or so. So you were there. I was. The robot tuners were horrible. Aaron, just have me on your channel on a Monday or whenever you want. On a weekend, I don't care. We can talk about my Gibson experience from an inside employee. And I can tell you all about Sean Paul will build it himself. Yeah, man. I can tell you all about my inside knowledge of Gibson and the robot tuners and the X, Guitar X. I can't remember what the name of it was. But it was the guitar that had the built-in effects inside the guitar. And Henry Juszowitz thought it was just going to be the next great thing, and it totally bombed, and pretty much the worst idea ever. So JC, who is there now at Gibson, has definitely turned the company around. They're definitely going a better direction than what Henry was taking things. And if I really like driving to Nashville every day, I wouldn't mind working at Gibson, because it is a fun environment. I mean, you get to build guitars all day, but yeah, some of the politics and just some of the crap you had to go through while the old management was in place and making their decisions, it just didn't make things that fun. So yeah, but have me on your channel. We can talk about Gibson and my experience there, and I could probably walk you through the whole process of how to build a guitar from scratch. So yeah, it'd be fun. It'd be really fun. Yeah, I had a Firebird. Ex-Gibson employee tells all. I probably should have kept my Firebird. I bought it 2013. No, I bought it in 2012. Then I kept it till about 2016 or so. I played it in my band Feedback Revival, which is really cool. The only problem with the Firebird is it's super long, and when you're trying to pack a car with other amps and other band members, pedal boards and guitars and amplifiers, it just takes up a lot of room. So it didn't make a lot of sense to have a very long guitar case in a Honda Element that you're trying to cram pack full of stuff, and 3 other guys in the band and trying to travel somewhere. But it stayed in tune great, and that's one of the reasons why I got the Reverend Warhawk, because it kind of had that similar Firebird look, but it was a shorter scale, had the reverse headstock, had the tuners on the back of the headstock, so you can tune it really, really nice, and yeah, all that stuff. Aaron had no idea. Yeah, Firebird X. That's what it was. Thank you. Firebird X is the worst thing ever. No. Gibson USA, which is based in Nashville, is only the electric guitars. And just right up the road, you can kind of see it up on the hill from the main plant, is the custom shop, which I think they might have moved that to a different area now. Because you had Gibson USA, then you had Epiphone, which is where they would receive the guitars in from Korea or wherever they were made in overseas. Then they would check them there at the Epiphone place, and then they'd ship them out to Sweetwater, Musician's Friend, Zounds, all the different stores and dealers throughout the U.S. And then on the hill, just up the road, probably like maybe a quarter to half a mile up the road, was the Gibson Custom Shop. And that's where they did all the really special, cool looking stuff. So, acoustics are made in Bozeman, Montana. And I'm pretty sure they're still made there in Montana. They do it there because just the environment for wood and acoustic building is just better. No, acoustic, the ES series, like the semi-hollow and the hollow body guitars, were in Memphis. But now the ES series are made in Nashville, to my understanding. So yeah, acoustics were made in Bozeman, Montana. ES, semi-hollow, and hollow were in Memphis. Yeah, and they closed down a few years ago and moved to Nashville. So me and Aaron are having a private conversation here, showing these comments. Firebird X. Yeah, acoustics are in Bozeman, Montana. Montana. Which has been a while since I've been to Montana. So it's probably been more than 20 years since I've been up there. Oh, yes. You're right. Oh, yes. You're right. I could just do this all night. I know, Aaron. I'm right. Thank you. I get it. All right. Cool. All right. So now we're pushing 2 hours. So if you've made it this far, go to my website and send me a message. Let me go to my website real fast so I can show you. Let me do it on this tab so I don't have to redo. Studios.com. So this is for all these special people that make it all the way through my live streams here. Chrome tab. Here we are. So yeah, here's Dr. McFarlane Studios. This is where you can go to my store and you can purchase a course on music theory, which is what I call anatomy of music. It goes through all the scales, chords, arpeggios, notation, all that stuff, and how music theory is applied to not only guitar, but pretty much every instrument that you would ever want to play, whether that's piano, flute, clarinet, saxophone, trombone, guitar, bass, dobro, banjo, mandolin, ukulele, violin, cello, viola, oboe. I mean, you name it. Music theory, the one knowledge of music theory can apply to every instrument you're ever going to pick up in your life. And whether you're a drummer or an instrument player, a non-percussion player, music theory can teach you a lot of things about how music works, how it's applied to an instrument, and then you can carry that knowledge over from different instruments. And that's how I'm able to play so many instruments that I can, because I just have a working knowledge of music theory and how to apply that. Then you got HTX rigs. I did make a bundle, which a few people have purchased so far. And that's going to start, I'm going to be adding in a tonal analysis, which is my way of analyzing a song and then recreating those tones on your, whether it's a headrush pedal board or HX Stomp or a Kemper or a Quad Cortex or whatever you have. I do have some Helix Studio presets, which works great for a Stomp or a Helix native plugin. I have some backing tracks, and I also have a Ultimate Access bundle, which is a one-time price, and you get everything on the site now and in the future for life. So if you're interested in really diving deeper, maybe you want to buy some music theory lessons for your kids or whatever, let me know. But since you've made it this far in the stream, all 8 people of you, send me a message through this little icon down here. You can send me a direct message, and then I can respond through email or through the website. Send me a message if you're interested, and I can give you a special discount on any product that you want on my website. Okay? So there's a special thank you for staying with me this long in the stream. If you're watching this a year from now and you've made it this far, congratulations. You're a beast and a true lover of all things music. And yeah, I will reward you for your endurance in making it this far in the stream by giving you something special for my website here. So Dr. McFarlane Studios, I love Family Guy. Yeah. The guy's name is McFarland, which I think his is McFarlane Lane. I don't think he ends his with a D. It's like a McFarlane or something. Let's see what Robert says. What do you do about extreme volume drop when the effects loop 1 is on, running a PRS MT5 with a Helix effects 4-cable method. I haven't noticed an extreme volume drop on effects 1 or effects 2. So there may be something going on with your amp. You might want to check the send volume. And if you do hear any kind of drop at all, I would boost the send volume of the effects loop you're using. And that should send more signal and help overcome any kind of volume drop that you probably do hear. I've never noticed it myself, especially with using the HX Effects and Blue Guitar Amp 1. I don't get the volume drop thing, but it could happen with some pieces of gear. So yeah, Aaron says, a friend told me that Helix sucks tone when used in an amp's effects loop. Is that true? Like I said, I've never really heard that myself. But some people said it has. So for you East Coasters, is coming up on 136. So we probably need to I have 666 videos. Yeah. I'm working toward, let's see, how many do I need to get to 700? Like 40-ish, 34 videos, something like that. I can do that before the summertime. I can crank out some videos here. See you, Sean. Have a good rest of your night. Sweet dreams. Robert says, I'm having that problem with the HX effects. When bypass, the amp is loud. When the effects loop is on, the volume drops a lot. You definitely shouldn't be getting lots of volume drop. Depending on how old your HX effects is, you may want to contact line 6 and say, hey, here's my serial number. This is the issue that I'm having. And they may just send you out a new one. So when I had this is actually my second HX effects right here. My first one, when I combined it with the Blue Guitar Amp 1, it had some very odd noise going on the dirt channels. So I searched around Google and just the internet and found there is an option. There was an issue with some of the first run HX effects units, and they would add noise into the effects loop using the 4-cable method of certain certain amps, and Blue Guitar Amp 1 was one of those amps. And all they did was just contact line 6. They said, yes, we know the issue. We're going to send you out a replacement unit right away. And that's what they did for me. And if that's truly the issue that you're having, of some kind of volume drop issue, then I would just contact line 6 and be like, hey guys, I got this unit and it's not working. I need a replacement. And they'll more than likely just send you out a new HX effects for free. So definitely check that out. The tone isn't affected. It's just the annoyance of the volume drop. So I totally get that. Aaron, I recently before my time was up on my old website, I was using a WordPress site using Lifter LMS for all my courses, and I found an option to where Podia.com is a great way to have they host your website. They help you create all your courses or whatever content you want to sell on your site. And they don't take any fees out from your sales, which is great. And I've already made my money back from the purchase of my site for this year. It's like $380 a year for the plan that I'm on. And for me, it's perfect for what I do. I don't need any more options. They have a little bit more expensive plan that you can pay into, but the $380 plan is great for me. So Podia.com is what that is. And I'll go here. You can check it out. Come on. If I can type. Everything you need to sell courses, webinars, downloads, and community. So the community thing, you'd have to pay extra for that, which I wasn't too interested in. It's because I want to kind of start off slow, and then I could build up to having a community if I wanted to. But I think this is what we're doing right now is more than enough community for me, just live streaming to Facebook and YouTube. And just being able to chat with people and do that kind of thing. So, Podia.com is what that is. And let me share my screen so you can see that. Sorry. Cancel. Show on screen. There we go. Podia.com. Everything you need to sell courses, webinars, downloads, and community. And there is like a little chat feature right on the site, so people can potential buyers or just people that want to communicate with you can just message you directly. You can message them directly, and they have a whole private conversation in the background, and it's really, really cool. Yeah, Aaron says, Robert, turn the send level up. Is the big knob on maximum? Big knob. Well, the big knob on the HX Effects does not control overall volume. You still have to go into the individual effects blocks, and then you would adjust the send volume from there using these small rotary knobs on the HX. Really, I love the HX Effects more than I do the HX Stomp, for sure. Because like I said, I don't really need an amp. I love the form factor of the HX Effects and all that. So, yeah, HX, not a Helix. Yeah, exactly. Just get real pedals instead. Much better. Well, like I said, if Robert, just contact line 6. And if there really is an issue with your HX Effects unit, they'll more than likely send you one out for free. Don't quote me on that, but that's what they've done with me in the past and a lot of other people. Especially if they already know there's an issue. It's like maybe your unit is an older unit and they already know there was an issue. And you're just now saying, hey, I'm another guy that has an issue. Can you send me out another unit? And be like, yeah, sure. We're just going to send you one out. So, real cool. Yeah, Line 6 is, this is great. They're great about really supporting their units and making sure if you've paid for it and it's not working how it should be, they just send you out a new one. That's just what they do. Very, very good. All right. 2 hours and 8 minutes. I think that's plenty of time. We're going to utilize my outro here, which I hope is not going to be too loud. I might have to check that. Let me turn it down. Turn it down in the loop back so you don't blow out your ears. But thanks, guys, for sticking with me. Be sure to contact me on my website, drmcfarlandstudios.com, and I will send you a very, very nice discount on any product that you want to get. Okay, just let me know which one you want, and I will hook you up. So, thanks, guys, for watching. It's a Friday night, and I'm glad I was able to spend this time with you. And thanks for all you do for subscribing, clicking the bell, making sure you're commenting on my videos, and also using the affiliate links in the description of my videos, either on Amazon or Sweetwater. I have been getting a lot more sales through my Sweetwater affiliate link, so I appreciate all you guys who, if you're going to buy something anyway, just go ahead and click through my link. I get just a little bit of kickback from that. That goes to help support the channel. It pays for my website. It pays for me buying more gear so I can test things out for you guys here on the channel and all that stuff. So once again, thank you everybody for all you do. I am Dr. McFarland. You have been great, and I will see you in the next video. Keep rocking.